This was a great game. I was very productive during this game. I cleaned out some of my drawers in my closet, lots of clothes that don't get worn. Probably best to get rid of them. Also, did some chores around the house, was able to hang up some extra things that I'd been meaning to hang up. I did all of this with the Vancouver Canucks LA Kings game going on in the background. Because at the opening parts of the game, when the Vancouver Canucks went down 3-0, and as the Canucks continued to play very poorly throughout the rest of the first, the second, and then the third, I was like, you know what, this is not worth it. We already know our angle. Because wow, there's one guy out of this entire game whose name has been spelled on Canucks social media, Twitter, Reddit, the Facebook comments all over, most likely, the comments of this video, the one guy whose name everybody cannot keep out of their mouths, isn't even the guy who had a 3-point night today. Sorry, Alex Turcotte, you were great today, but it wasn't your night when it comes to being the center of attention. The number one guy for all Canucks fans in this city is JT Miller. I don't want to go over, all of the things that we had seen, but we're just going to go over a few of them. We're going to go over some tweets. We're going to go over some thoughts from the Canucks game day thread. Let's go out there and read this. JT Miller needs to be traded. This isn't the first time this season Turcotte is benching him for his poor defensive game. Something is obviously wrong with him. I wonder if it's connected to why he left the team for a month. On Twitter, you had this video posted by Noah Strang. It was the 2-0 Turcotte goal. The video reads, "Please watch JT Miller on this play." As the LA Kings cycle it around, Miller is just kind of standing there, he is standing there, he is twirling around, he is standing there, the goal goes in, and you are seeing all of the replies. JT Miller is toxic. He got his act together last year, but he's back to his old ways. Was he on the ice for a while on this one? I mercifully shut the game off before goals 2 and 3. I don't know, this has been going on long enough now. I think I'm off the Miller bandwagon. Goodness, that was a terrible look. Like Pierre-Luc Dubois level bad. Nikhil had this post that went semi-viral. Trade Miller and Besser. Retool the D and change the core. Sorry, but I have seen enough. How is Besser catching strays here? At least he's been trying, and he's been better when he's on other people's lines. He's not worth the 8x8 though. Just the business you need to get value for him instead of letting him walk for nothing. You also had yourselves this from Quads. Around the second period-ish, Rick Tocchet just walked down and said something to Miller at the bench. Miller got up and walked to the end of the bench. Not sure we'll see much more of him tonight. And then you had yourselves this post made by Jason Bruff. I think it's fair to wonder if we are seeing JT's last game as a Canuck. And to be fair, I will go out there with the opposing perspective. Van Funnock said this a month ago. I would have been more upset at the thought of trading Miller away. At this point, I just don't care anymore. I just want to see change. Petey, for another 7 years at 11.6 is a terrifying thought right now as well. Speaking about Bruff, if you were listening to Halford and Bruff earlier this morning, you would have heard a very interesting conversation actually brought up by Bruff himself. This was more of a Bruff thing, not really a Halford thing. Whether or not you believe in this Vancouver Canucks core. Is this group of guys a group of guys that is capable of winning the Stanley Cup and hoisting it? Are they capable of winning? And ultimately, I think last year, if you looked at all of the best case scenario stuff, the team was on a PDO bender, everything they were firing at the goal was going in, they were securing leads, the defense was good, everybody was on top of their game, except for Pettersson. When you looked at that group of guys, it's easy to say, okay, yeah, if Elias Pettersson plays like a 100-point caliber player and everything else stays the same, who knows what the ceiling is of this team? They were one game away from beating the inevitable Stanley Cup runner-ups in Edmonton, and they did most of that without Besser at the end of it. Pettersson was not playing all too well, and Thatcher Demko was out too. Last year, it was very realistic to say that the Vancouver Canucks had a core that could, at the very least, compete for the Cup. This year, though, with the way they've been performing, the inconsistencies, the lack of actual drive, JT Miller making boneheaded decisions on the penalty kill where he gives it away and he makes LA have a very easy 2-on-1 opportunity, which leads to a primary goal against. That 3-1 goal by Kevin Fiala, what a yucky goal by JT, just giving up possession. Goal by JT. It's not even really JT who scored it. He just gave the Kings the primary opportunity to get that goal. And then everything else too, the 2-0 Turcotte goal where Miller was just kind of standing around, and the ice time as well. If you go over to the Vancouver Canucks and you look at ice time, Elias Pettersson had 20 minutes. JT Miller, 14:34. Miller had fewer minutes in this game than Nils Höglander, Teddy Bluger, Pius Suter, Kiefer Sherwood, Jake DeBrusk, Connor Garland, and Pettersson. And he was moved off of the power play, too. My goodness, man, that Quinn Hughes, I feel bad for the guy. 29 minutes in this game, and he was forced to play a little bit more than he probably should have because Carson Soucy got thrown out of the game. Tyler Myers appeared to have gotten hurt. I mean, the Canucks took a penalty at the end of it all, too, so short-handed towards the end of the frame, you were forced to play Forbort and Desharnais because Philip Hronek and Quinn Hughes. Do you want to see those guys out there killing a penalty with a minute to go? Probably not. What a disaster game for the Vancouver Canucks. And ultimately, the fact that Miller's name is now trending in Vancouver, like if you go to Twitter, you search on the For You page, okay, yeah, Miller is trending alongside of Pettersson, alongside of Besser, alongside of hashtag Canucks. I'm seeing videos breaking down the power play and how the structure of the team on the man advantage is just so inadequate. No bumper, bunch of guys down low, just relying on Quinn Hughes to do everything all by himself. Oh boy, look at this spicy take here. The Canucks didn't lose this game. JT Miller lost them this game single-handedly. People ask what quiet quitting looks like? Answer, go watch Miller play in the past 3 to 4 games. Not all on him, but Demko needs to make a key save here and there. Some other guys were pretty bad, but Miller was the worst for sure. You know, I'm actually not going to go out there and gobsmack Thatcher Demko for much of this game. The first goal tipped in out in front, the fact that the shot was even available. It's Phil Hronek who gives the 2-on-1 to the LA Kings, and Kempe throws it out for Turcotte. Obviously, you don't want the first goal of the game to come off of the first shot, but Thatcher Demko was a victim of a 2-on-1 there. Turcotte, his second goal, though. Also a Demko play where really he had no chance. Shot in the rebound. What do you want to do? Turcotte was by himself in front, nobody took him. Adrian Kempe making it 3-0 just 30 seconds after it was 2-0. Another one of these Vancouver defensive rush breakdowns, and it leads to Turcotte throwing it back out for Kempe, who walks right in, he dangles and he scores. 3-0. Fantastic. Quinn Hughes makes it 3-1. Great. You know, he can kind of do everything all by himself, but he can't win games because the team's playing so poorly in front of him. Then Kevin Fiala makes it 4-1. Great play there by Miller to just give the puck back over to LA. And then Warren Foegele made it 5-1. I'm going to be honest, I didn't even watch this goal. Like, I had it on in the background. I think I passively heard that a goal was scored, but yeah, nice, Warren Foegele. The LA Kings win 5-1, and if there's any game so far throughout the year that piled on with the game prior to is gonna pretty much send the biggest shockwave possible throughout the Canucks hockey landscape, it's this one. Oh, they beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-0. Fantastic. Such a good win. Team effort. They're playing their best hockey. And then they crapped the bed against Winnipeg. And then they crapped the bed against LA. And all throughout, JT Miller's name has been percolating up more and more. I'm not going to go out there and say that Pettersson played well either. That's the thing, right? If you wanted to trade away Miller and Pettersson, send them both to New Jersey for both of the Hugheses or whatever. Reshape the identity and the core of this Vancouver Canucks team. I'll leave y'all with that. Check out ExpressVPN for some free months on your VPN. Use the affiliate link to help out the channel and get yourself some discounts. Thoughts in the comments section below about the Canucks and the Kings. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.